description we've got, by the way, at the start. Well, hey.
Do we have a on? Is that on? We're live.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. So welcome to another Cortex RP session. It's number 27, episode book 2, Empire in Flames, 1152, episode 10, Only Angels May Fly. You will see straight away already that we have somebody new with us today, Ivan the Terrible. He's sitting top left, in case you're wondering if it's the guy on the right-hand side who's casting shadow. Halt. But Ivan, welcome to the Cortex group, mate. It's your first episode with us. I know that you've been eager to get involved. We've known Ivan for a long time, well over a decade of forehead. Over a decade.
And he nuts the screen straight away.
I'm so excited.
He's also narcoleptic. So as a group, we've been involved in games for well over 10 years now. So he's been part of the background, part of the history of the gaming itself, and the Cortex have now got to the point where we are needing to bring in another player, another character, another actor. And so Ivan, welcome to the Cortex group, mate, and your first episode with us.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
And there goes his mic straight away.
Yeah. No.
Stop playing with the lead.
Play with your lead.
Have you got the cable pulled up on the laptop in front of you at least? Or you
let
it dangle?
It's right in front of me, look. Are you swearing? Is that why it's gone?
Yeah, he was
He's just playing with it. He's going,
about to swear again.
I'm not yet.
No, there it is. So apart from that usual thing, we need to replace that device.
Well, yes. We talk about Talbot.
Yeah. Of course, Ivan's just turned his camera to reveal the petrol and sex toy on the shelf behind him.
Well, it's sharing's caring, I suppose.
It's a mini tennis racket. Powered. Is this 40k? Are you sure it's not a 40k device, you know?
It could be.
It's Electromace. A what? Power mace. Yeah. It's a power bat. Here we are. Oh, yeah, and thank you very much for our latest subscriber to YouTube. Please check out our channel. We have several videos sitting on there, all of them, the entire history of it, and we're seeing an increase in viewers, particularly Friends, that episode that's going back a month now, has popped the 500 mark. That's very nice for us. Thank you very much. 500 views, man.
Thank you.
But,
Yes.
Well, average one is popping 50. Last week's is rising quite high. The Kiss. We decided to experiment and go in a different direction for that one. And
When you say we
Talbot.
So we'll see how far where the campaign goes now. I'll flex pages. Right. Well, last week. Last week we're at day 4 still in Midnight. In the morning, you'd seen the witch burning. In the afternoon, Renyir had followed the orator to a house, reported back. There was a disagreement between Framling and Arnung as to how to proceed, with Arnung taking a moment while Framling had stepped away to slip out of the Harvest Goose with Renyir and head to the Freiburg district, at which point they made entry to the man's property and questioned him at knife point about the Knights of the Eye. You were able to gather some quite intriguing, very powerful information, at least as far as some of the questions that you had, which were about how the Knights are ordered, who's running it, how many there are, what they're up to. I'm not going to go over what you perceive. That's about to happen when we start the session, that information, so hopefully your notes aren't back to front. You got that information and then proceeded to get to the point where Arnung, not really aware of where to go from that point onwards, settled with murder, as we all do.
After the tongue lashing you gave him.
Proceeded to then spend a fair few moments repeatedly telling him, "You're about to die. You're dying now. You are about to die right now." He then said something about by the order of Busso. He keeps on throwing this Busso name out. Nobody knows what it's about. The man started to scream, as you would expect a man thinking during his imminent death, "Please help me." He made a break for it. Arnung grabbed him, pulled him to the floor, and unaware, not really, in that moment of panic, with his hands
was it passion?
holding him down, in a moment of panic, open mouth kissed him.
And then went for it. Just thought, well, bugger it. Why not?
Then took another moment to tell him he was going to die.
He did it again.
And then stabbed him in the throat.
Snapped his neck.
I didn't stab him.
Was it? I was told it was stabbing.
No, he snapped his neck.
I stand corrected. I was told earlier by somebody that he did that, and I corrected that person. I do apologise for that, for that person, that viewer who said he stabbed his neck. I mean, he stabbed him. Obviously, okay, so he broke his neck. Open mouth murder, kissing, stabbing didn't happen. It was the neck.
So after he assaulted him in a particularly disgusting way, he then gave him sweet release by breaking his neck. The poor bloke. It was not his day.
Moore is now going, "What's wrong with this fella? He's curled up in a ball. Come through the gates."
Is it over? Is it over?
Was the kiss of death?
It was yes. Yes.
Slanesh just going, "New worshipper."
I like it. Kiss of death.
It wasn't so much kiss. It was more of a snog of death. That's the thing. It was disconcerting.
Snog.
He's not talking again.
No, he's getting upset.
Why do you? The amount of times he comes out with "shut up" when we tell him we can't hear him, and that's the only thing that comes out.
I can't. I'm not...
Stop swearing.
We need upgrades.
That wasn't upgraded. That worked fine. It was the other one that didn't work properly.
It's the device, not the headphones.
It's the what device?
The device?
I think you're talking about your mouth. It's the device.
His mouth don't work. Well, hopefully we can cut that to a minimum. One last couple of checks for you there, Mike. Can you check to see if the boom mic isn't one of those removable click ones? The cable in the back of your headset physically. Do you want to see if they're connected properly? Because being a USB device, the way that it goes in and out like that doesn't seem to follow suit. It's obviously not a driver issue because we've had two different headsets though. I've just answered my own question, haven't I? It's the same problem with a different headset.
Pretty much, yep.
It's the laptop.
Anyway.
Right, so thanks very much for tuning in. Without further ado, there's the reminder, but ends with, or starts again with where we left off. But in this case, we have Arnung and Renyir re-entering the Harvest Goose, where Framling has, as far as they're concerned, been sitting there all along. At Arnung's table. You walk back into the Harvest Goose. The Harvest Goose is, or has picked up at the time that you've been away. This is the normal time when most of the traders have retired for their, a meal and a discussion, some drinks. The daytime trades themselves, people have moved off or some have stayed, and they're now having the drinks. There is still no sign of Goebbels or the minstrel. They haven't showed up since day 1, so this is the evening of day 4 we're at. And like I say, Goebbels, I've on the wrong bloody page, that's why. Goebbels and Relaine are not there. You haven't been here long enough to know if they're supposed to be here every night, but I know that you are probably equally keen as well as reluctant to see the head of the secret police, or reported to be as such, sitting amongst you. But as you guys walk in, like I say, Framling's at the table with a drink, and the place is quite packed with the evening. Did any of that audio come through? Yes, by the dancing, it is. So basically There is a band playing in the corner. They've got some light instruments, and they're entertaining the crowd. Framling, from your point of view, they've been here about an hour. The crowd has got to its usual. It has for day 1, 2, and 3. There's nothing untoward about it. The staff are in numbers, and the owner is behind the bar doing his part as host. And you can see that Faramis nods towards Arnung as he first enters, as a recognition of you coming into his bar, which is directly in front of the doors, directly in front of that bar. So you make your way through the crowd. Are you heading to the bar? You're heading straight to the table. You can see Framling is at your table.
I will approach from.
You cut off again. Okay, so you work your way through the crowd, taking a seat at the table. I'll leave it up to you.
Ken, that music's really loud in my ears. I can hardly think. I mean, maybe that's what we're going. That's what we're going for, because it's one of those sort of parties.
It is loud. Well, yeah,
I can't hear.
It is meant to be loud, but obviously, if as people you can't communicate because it's that loud, then it's. Yeah, but it is meant to be loud. I could have made it quite intentionally. It's not background music. The pub, the music's blast. They're literally.
It's even, right?
Yeah. Okay. Can you still hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it's meant to be invasive, effectively, anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So, what Arnum's is he sat down at my table? Is he come over, or what? I didn't quite get chat. He's heading over, is he?
I'm sitting at the table.
Yeah.
Oh, you've sat at the table. Arnum. So, what happened? Where do you go? What have you done?
Well, Framling, the old-fashioned way.
Right. We definitely have a problem there, mate. You went.
Stop.
What you just said there with that gap was I am Framling the old-fashioned way. Because you broke up in the middle of that, and you've gone again. Seems to be getting worse. Apologies for what's going on here. We've got a little bit of a technical issue with Arnung, with Talbot.
Wouldn't be Cortex. It wouldn't be Cortex if it wouldn't have audio issues. It's been a ring theme for the last year.
Is that okay?
It seems to be, right, but something's obviously happening and it just cuts you off. Go on.
So, I decided to do things my way. Kick doors, knock a few heads, get job done. So
Okay,
I paid a visit.
How successful was that?
Very.
Okay, so explain. Where did you go? Who did you see? What did you
Paid a
get?
little visit to our friend, the orator.
Right.
So he told us got a name, Lucas Words. He's the head of the Nightly Order.
Right. Was that it?
Now,
Were we not trying to find out about this guy called Burroughs?
and Burroughs is there.
Burroughs is with the radar.
No, Burroughs is at the barracks. He's in the cells. He's been held.
Right. And who is he?
Apparently, he's a witch.
Yeah, well, they would say that, but who is he?
He's a nobody from what I can gather. He certainly doesn't fit the description as a witch. I mean, looking at you and looking at him, I know who the witch is.
So they've had him for how long?
A few months.
So why are they not burnt him? If he's just a nobody. Seems to me that they burn the nobodies pretty quick. What does he look like? Is this someone we would recognise?
We never got that far.
No.
What do you mean we never got that far?
Well, he's now kind of resting peacefully.
Burrows is resting peacefully.
No.
You're not making sense. Do we know what this guy looks like?
No, we
Talking
don't.
about Burrows. No, we don't know what Burrows looks like. We
The
didn't get
orator
that
didn't
far.
know what he looked.
No, we just didn't ask.
So the major witch, the head of the coven, the people that they're holding long. This person who's a nobody who are holding long time. We've got no idea what he looks like. He could walk in the
No,
door.
but how hard can it be? How hard can it be? I mean, we can, when we do pay this Burrows a visit. I mean,
Who are we paying a visit? Do we know who he is? Do we shout his name?
that would be a great idea. We should lead with that. Shouting names will definitely get attention.
I might know somebody who knows him.
You might know somebody who knows him. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we should lead with that next time.
Well, you were busy explaining everything how it went wrong.
What went wrong?
Everything went wrong. Oh, it's bad.
Okay.
Oh,
Stop.
there it is.
Just explain to me what
Buenos
happened.
salts.
Oh.
He might know.
What happened? On.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on? What happened?
Well, Renyir broke in. Things got a bit, out of hand. Little boy thought he was clever with a knife, so we had to act fast. He became spooked. So we managed to get the name of this Lucas Werns, being head of the Knightly Order. That is the Order of the Eye.
Yeah.
Has the entire bar just gone really quiet?
Has the music gone off?
Just like
Yeah.
everyone's watching it.
the eye, and then we killed him. What?
What? Shit! I didn't realize.
Sound
I
like a
was
witch
thinking
like
about that.
you.
See, this is the problem. I can't hear it. Right, go on.
Okay. We all
Lost you.
We also have another name, Anton Sachs. He seems to be the advisor, close advisor of the Emperor. But as of now, we don't know enough of what the Order of the Eye, other than burning witches, which don't appear to be witches. I don't know where they stand.
He didn't.
Or the
mention-
So So is this order just some way of the Emperor maintaining control through terror? Is that all it is, or are they a proper witch hunt? They obviously have skills. We saw that in the marketplace.
You saw
mentioned-
that.
I saw that. I'll tell you that straight away. So what are they doing? They come here to bring terror? Is that what it is?
No, they're getting.
Because
they've
as
got
far as
the
I can
orders
see,
from the Church of Sigma.
they've
So
come
he
to this. They've come to this city. They're rounding up randoms, as far as we're aware, and burning them. Except for this one person, this Burrows character. That apparently he's a nobody, but we don't know what he looks like. We don't know anything about him. So what's their? What else? I mean, what's their mission? What are they looking to do? Doesn't seem.
It seems the only reason they haven't burnt him is because he hasn't confessed to his crimes. And that's what the orator told us.
seems
I'm
unusual.
also looking for somebody called Uliko.
Who?
Uliko.
Uliko. Tell me about this Uliko. What do they know about him? Why are they looking for him?
They just know his name.
Now, I lean in close to Framling. If I'm not mistaken, Framling, Uliko sounds a lot like Ulmako. Now, is there something that... Why would they mention Ulmako? Isn't...
Well, when you
We
were
learnt about Ulmako.
when you were talking to the orator, when he gave out this information, what else did he give out?
He said...
Rather than asking me, what did you ask him?
Oh, he told us about Uliko being close.
Boris.
Close to,
Close. I'm
as
assuming.
in close proximity.
It could be close proximity. I think the very fact
Close
that
to the
they
close to the
mentioned-
void. They're close to getting him.
We're not sure. I thought you could shed some light on that, being the all immortal Framling, son of Tal.
All right, we'll keep that one down. Just bear in mind.
This is why I'm close, Framling. I'm not here.
Well,
announcing
me and you, we
that
don't
you
need to
are
talk about the
immortal
things
Framling.
that are obvious, do we? We don't need to be spreading that around. So, what happened to the orator? We got him.
Somebody got him.
He's been taken by someone else.
More.
Where is he?
He's dead.
How did? He's dead. How the hell did he end up dead?
When one stops breathing.
No. So what you're telling me is an
Okay.
order sent here by the Emperor that is potentially looking for someone called Uliko, who is a public face and is denouncing witches. You killed the public face.
Gave him the kiss of death.
Yeah, we killed him.
You've gone up to the order that's looking for me, and then you've killed them. You've just put a big. I might as well just walked up and blown the doors in.
But why would they be looking for you?
So
They
they're
don't know
looking
it's
for.
you.
Well, they may not know it's specifically me, although I'm fairly obvious if you know what you're looking for. But irrespective of that, we have an order of knights that look for witches. We have a public face to that order saying that there's witches in the town. Next thing you know, turns up dead. What does that suggest? Suggests to me there's witches in this area. Suggests, hey, let's get in there and start kicking in doors and start investigating a bit harder. Sounds like they'll be on guard now. Sounds like you're not doing your job. Sounds like I don't know what's happening, Arnung. I don't
know.
understand.
What do you want
can't
from Framling?
I can't work freely in this town. I don't know this town. I've been away for a while, and I'm coming to you, and I'm using your expertise because you've been around for a while. This is your area. This is your pervasive. This is what you do, and you're telling me you go straight up to the people who we are investigating. We want to know more about, and you kill one of them in public. Make it obvious. Did you hide the body? Is it still there?
No, the body's there.
So random murder. Is this a murder part of town? Do murders happen in that area that people can say, oh, could just be a break-in? Is it a murdery sort of place?
No, you can say so. It's a middle class place.
It's a what? Lower class?
Middle class.
Middle class. Doesn't sound murdery to me. Sounds like it's the sort of place that wouldn't have a lot of things going on like that. Sounds like the sort of place where if there was a murder occur, it would draw attention, irrespective of the fact it's the mouthpiece for a witch hunting order. A witch hunting order that we don't really want to draw attention to.
Right. Okay.
Just-
Renyir.
To suggest this is not working is an understatement.
Renyir.
Yes.
See to it that the body's taken care of.
Whoa. When did this? How long has this been since you killed him? We're sending this lad back into somewhere which is an active murder scene, so he can be caught and tortured.
You'll be fine.
I'm a bit concerned that your thought process and your decision making is a bit off at the moment. I don't know what's going on. You're not the Arnung I remember.
No,
And you're gonna
Framling, I'm not the Arnung you remember at all.
You're gonna send a 15-year-old back into a hotspot where he could get caught, and if he gets caught, with the best will in the world, Renyir, how long do you think he'll survive under the gentle ministrations of a witch order?
Quite long, because I won't get caught.
The thing is,
Oh,
Renyir,
okay. So as long as you don't get caught, everything's fine. If you do get caught, they're coming here.
I know who to blame.
Mm.
The minstrel. I'll go and
Go on,
get
Renyir.
rid of the body.
I don't know. Don't. Leave the body. It's too late. Should have been dealt with at the time.
Okay, so
Too much
if
too
they
much chance
could-
of you get.
Well, I can always check and see if it's...
the problem there in Framling.
Say again.
If they come here, they point fingers at us, we'll deal with it. But until that happens, they don't know it's us.
You might be right that they won't know it's us, but they're going to be in a heightened state now, aren't they? Would you agree?
I
They've
agree.
just had one of their members killed. Strikes me that an attack on an individual member of this order of knights who are hunting witches wouldn't be seen as a random event. It'll be perceived by all, and by all I mean by that lot, and maybe somewhere, wherever they're connected to the Emperor, as an attack on them and their mission. And their mission is to hunt down witches, which in their twisted mindset will be, oh, that means the witches are attacking us. That means there's probably more witches. Let's go find more of them. If you come to a town and you start shaking the doors and kicking things in and seeing what drops out, as far as they're concerned, something's just dropped out. We've just sort of highlighted the fact that they've got a witch problem. They don't, but that's in their minds. They do. It's not the gentle touch that I would have expected. And then you've left a mess there, man. You've left the body. It's not as if you can say he's just disappeared. They know he's dead. You may have been seen going in. Were you seen going in?
No.
Did you leave any evidence?
What evidence?
You didn't leave a knife or something to track us back to us?
No, it's not the first time I've killed somebody from them.
But obviously, but you don't clean up messes up.
This raider isn't our problem. He's a nobody. Trust me.
He is a somebody. He's not a nobody. He's the mouthpiece for this witch finding order.
He's just a mouthpiece. He's.
So we're looking for some guy called Uliko, which seems
Yes.
remarkably similar to Ulmako,
The order is
which
looking
seems
for
remarkably
somebody called.
They just
Yeah.
have his name. They don't know what he looks like.
How do you know that?
He said,
This
well, we have his
Burrows.
name.
Now, Burrows is a man we need to find. We need to get close to him because Burrows is apparently the one that is somehow in connection with Uliko.
Never heard of him.
You've never heard of Uliko?
Never heard of Burrows.
Well, maybe he's
Burrows?
using an alternative name.
Hmm.
How long does it take for plants and that to rot?
Sorry? Plants?
Mm-hmm.
Few
Well,
days.
Suddenly have
Well, I
an
mean,
interest in gardening? What?
Well, if he was meant to be a worshipper of the Tal, wouldn't the garden be kept in good condition? But the garden that was at Burroughs' house was rot infested.
Rat infested.
Rot.
Rot.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, so we're just step back one. Plants don't rot overnight. They wilt first. It will take a week or so before they rot. You were saying this garden was full of rotted plants?
Yes.
I mean, I know
How
what
long was
Renyir
this-
is suggesting, but I mean, this Burrows has been in prison for many months. So
Yeah,
not
no.
confuse the issue.
Well, is there any other rotten plants around the area?
It was just the back garden.
Has it not rained? Not being a green-fingered gardener, but having been around plant life for a year or three, doesn't rot just because no one's looking after it. It tends to grow out of control if no one's looking after it, unless of course we've had a drought. We had a drought.
Nope.
We had a sharp frost.
No.
We had anything that would say natural, or that, oh yeah, that's probably why a lot of plants are rotting. Mainly I would go with the fact that, I mean, when you say plants, what are we talking about? Just trees?
The
Flowers?
garden, vegetables, plants, whatever's in the back garden. That's not my expertise. I just remember it being a rotten area.
Was there a blight? Did you see like anything to do with, like, was there insects all over it? That sort of thing? Have we had an insect infestation in the city recently?
It was just that garden.
So nowhere else. I mean, I don't recall when we wandered around the town seeing any particularly signs of rotting foliage. Strikes me that that's significant.
That's significant.
Why would we have a garden that's rotting?
Because it hasn't been kept for many months.
So,
come on, Framling, we're not going to be investigating, a vegetable patch, are we? We're here to seek out threats of the Empire. Now, if this Blaine fucking Burrows, whoever he is spouting out the name of Ulico, and if this is the Ulmacore,
Blaine Burrows is spouting out the name of Ulico.
That's what the orator said.
That he said it was Ulico.
Yes. I think the fact is we need to find and seek an audience with this Blaine Burrows.
The guy who's being held by the Order.
Yes.
And the Order that's probably now on high alert because one of their members has just been murdered. You see where I'm going with this?
No, I don't. You want to get in, you've got to get in. Yes?
Right.
It hasn't been that long since you went to visit Moore.
Stop. Right. You, boy, go somewhere else.
I'll go get rid of the body then.
Don't go anywhere near the body. Go elsewhere. Me and Arnung are going to have a chat.
Do you just go somewhere else within the bar itself, go off and sit somewhere, or do you leave the bar? Remember who Renyir is.
I'm going to leave the bar.
You're leaving the bar?
Yeah, I'm just going to check the building. I'm not going in.
So you are heading back. Okay, so you leave.
Yeah.
You guys see him leave the bar. You've dismissed him. Renyir gets up. What's his sort of demeanour? What is, is he like, fair enough? Oh, Framling's just basically said, get out. Are you scrabbling to get away from him?
Yeah.
All right. So okay, so without no lip, I'll go give it to the bar. Don't. He says quite clearly. You then, without saying another word, get up and leave the Harvest Goose. Correct?
Yep.
And then my understanding is you're heading to the Freeburg to look at the building.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near the body. I'm looking at the building and see what's happening. Kind of doing what he's told me and not doing what he
Right. Yeah, so he gets up and leaves. While he's doing so, you note a child passing by. It's only because Renyir gets up and moving off. Moving away through the crowd because of the slightly bigger 15-year-old lad. He's not massive, but he's big enough that people have to step to one side as he makes his way through. You see a small lad, probably 7-8 years old, in rags, dirty face, matted hair. You see this moment gap as this child moves through. The reason that you are both very quickly you spot this is because he looks out of place, and he moves through the crowd. He's about waist height and he's going unobserved, and you do spot him, and he's moving off from the right to your left hand side, flitting through the crowd until he stops at a table about 3-4 tables away near the wall, to your left-hand side, where you can see a fairly nondescript man sitting at a table with a drink. He's in, in mid-level sort of, not expensive clothing, not, he's just in normal clothing. He's got a tunic on, you can see, a shirt. He's got an overcoat, trousers, that sort of thing. He's not wearing any armor. He's not, he's not sticking out in that sense. He just looks like any of the patrons around, maybe a little bit dressed down, a little bit less financially capable compared to a lot of the high-rise merchants here. Though you can't hear what the boy says, he does lean forward, he talks to him, and obviously your attention is very much riveted on this at this point. And you see the boy approach and speak with this man. The man then violently backhands the child, who literally bounces off the table and falls to the floor. An instant explosion of anger, silent, just hits the child, a look of anger on his face. The child stands up, hands in front of him. You can see tears from this the stinging blow roll freely down this dirt-crusted face. And then the face on this man relaxes, and he smiles, a very open, warming smile. And the child, instead of looking down in fear, is aware of this. The man leans forward, ruffles his hair, and you vaguely hear over the. I'm unaware if the music's still playing. You vaguely hear what. You think, over the music blasting away, you think you hear him say, "Go see mother," and the child moves off back into the crowd, and this man is sitting back. Emotions. Everyone else is getting up. You see him be sitting in his chair, and he motions at Fanimus, who, in that moment, you realise was looking in that direction, not waiting. You realise now that he keeps on looking over. He catches this man's motion with his hand, and he very quickly brings him another ale. You see him sort of nod, and then he backs away and moves back to the bar itself. There's something very nervous about Fanimus's reaction to him.
Does anyone react to the kid getting knocked?
The few people that were close by that noticed it don't in any way react to it whatsoever. They don't seem to be surprised. They don't shock. They don't turn around and talk. You see them sort of go, as if whatever. They don't even seem to see that the kid being in the bar. There's, Arnung, as far as you're aware, it's been a couple of years, but there's no children allowed rule. But this is a high-level deal brokerage. Beggars and not street urchins don't come in here. But this blow to the child, and obviously it was a heavy blow. It doesn't seem to elicit any response from anybody who, the ones that are close by, acknowledged that there was a disturbance before going back about their business. When Fanimus does return to the bar, you see one man at the bar who was, obviously has watched this, and he's looking for a little bit longer before you see him hurriedly finish his drink, puts his cup down, and you see Fanimus go to pour him another one, and you see his actions like, no, you can't hear a conversation per se. You see him going, no, and he turns and he very quickly leaves the bar. By this point, Renyir's obviously left, completely oblivious to what just happened.
Does the guy leave the bar at the same time with a kid?
No, the man is still sitting at the table to the side.
No. We thought we heard the man tell the kid, "Go see mother." Did the kid leave the bar?
He did.
Did the man at the bar who hurriedly finished his drink, did he look as though he's following the kid out?
No, he looked like he was looking at the man that struck the child.
Right. As in recognition, as in he was aware of the event and didn't look happy about it, as in, ooh, I'm getting out of here.
You unfortunately weren't watching this man. It was only his last moments that you saw, which was him going, just looking in that direction, and suddenly finish his drink, refusing another and getting out. You didn't see anywhere near because your eyes were literally in a completely different direction.
Okay.
But the direct result of something, because he was looking over there, neither of you are young or inexperienced in the way of the world. You can easily see certain things are very easily linked. We've just lost Talbot.
Oh, yeah, we have.
Oh.
He's fiddling again. Oh, and it's the crap camera. And welcome to 1969. We have our reporter in Vietnam. How are things going?
You're back.
So obviously this man's hurried removal was he suddenly spotted this man at the table. People, full-grown men, and this guy was well dressed. He's a high-class merchant by appearance, and he was, he clearly hasn't been. Oh, I've just seen a boy struck. I'm off. This is not my sort of establishment. The commotion, this mild event in the corner, which only seemingly reacted to a few people reacted. He just
drew
had to
no
spot
attention.
this. No.
So it drew no attention. It drew no reaction from everyone else.
No.
They were just like, meh.
Yeah.
Someone's hitting a kid. Meh.
Yeah.
Except this one guy.
Yeah.
Who may not be reacting to the kid, but he was reacting to something he saw,
Yes.
and then he left.
Yes.
Arnhem. Who's this guy? This doesn't seem right. Has he been watching us? Do you know him?
That guy? No, I've never seen him before.
Okay.
I don't recognize him.
Working with street urchins?
No, this is a city.
Yeah, but is that normal for here? Doesn't seem like the sort of place we'd be getting that in.
You're concerned?
Just keep an eye. No, well, just keep an eye. See if he's watching us. I'm getting a bit nervous. I'm getting a bit nervous because we may have just stirred the hornet's nest when it comes to this order of witch finders, whatever they are.
I think we've been stirring, shaking, pissing on this hornet's nest since we first came here.
No, we haven't. We really haven't. That direct action of yours is literally kicking the hornet's nest. I know it's been a while since we worked together, many years, but that doesn't strike me as the sort of thing that someone in your position would do. What gives? What's going on? I need you to be my factor in this place. I don't know it. It's not me. I need you to be my representative. I need you to be my eyes and ears. I don't need you to be a loose cannon going off and... I mean, we're still trying to work out where we're going to go. We were going to go and try and find burrows. Now, apparently, after you've just stirred the hornet's nest, apparently we're going to go and find burrows. Isn't that what we were discussing before you run off?
Yeah, but...
But?
You're right. What was I thinking?
I don't know. What were you thinking? What are you thinking?
What was Arnung thinking? I have no idea what I was thinking. It's been a while.
What's been a while?
Everything. I mean, I don't even know who I am anymore. Framling. Am I the Arnung you used to know?
Well...
And I look in the mirror, I don't see the same Arnung.
Well, you're an older, wiser man, hopefully. That's the plan. That was the idea.
I didn't intend
reliable. You didn't intend to kill him.
But here I am, killing again. Am I the Arnung that built the North? Through fear and respect.
Is this how you built it? Wild actions? Not thinking straight?
Okay, we are where we are, Framling.
Yeah, but I need you to be straight. I need you to be operating at full capacity. And it just strikes me that last action that we're going to have to deal with, and I don't know what the ramifications are, and hopefully it doesn't mean we're going to leave the city fast, just doesn't seem like the Arnhem that I remember and the Arnhem that I've heard about subsequent to me leaving those few years ago.
Okay, I killed him because he was about to blow our cover, so I had very little choice in there. But before we killed him, we got some useful intel. We learned more about this order, this knightly order. They call themselves the Knights of Sigmar, ordained by the Emperor to take out these witches, which they deem a threat. I'm not entirely sure if Blaine Burrows is a witch. That's your areas of expertise, Framling. I don't see that. But what I do know from the little information we have is that these potentially are a threat.
And it was this Blaine Burrows that told them about Uliko.
Yes. And that's is the most disconcerting for me. I haven't heard that name since I was a youngling at the temple. The tales of Olmacor,
Yeah, it's been a
Caradoc.
while since that name's been used.
And the fact that that name has returned, why is it returned?
Who knows of that name? It's not an often used name, even in our circles. That name's not used very often. I mean, you're right. This Burrows guy that we don't know who looks like, and when Renyir goes from taking a piss or wherever he's gone, we'll find out who it is, who knows what he looks like. Because if we're going to go in and grab this guy, we need to know who we're grabbing. We can't just go and knock on every cell and door and inquire.
Forgive me for stepping out of line, Framling. It's not my intention. I've sworn an oath to protect the Brotherhood and you. I'll follow you.
It just doesn't seem like you. That's the thing.
Let's just say this old fool isn't what he once was. I'm still finding my feet, learning to be me again, whatever me is. A lot has happened since you left. Maybe this is a talk for another time, my old friend, but
I just need you to be clear-headed. That's all I need. I mean, I realise that, the years have passed. You're not as young as you used to be, perhaps not as fast as you used to be, but I thought that you were still as sharp as you used to be, and that's what I'll need. That muscle we can find, but your insight into the world, the world that we're currently traveling, and by that I mean this shadowy world. That's what I was looking for. You're my person. You're my guide. You're the person who's on the ground. You're the face. You're the instrument by which we get stuff done. I need you to be clear. I need you to be sharp, and work with me. And for Tal's sake, don't just run off and do stuff when we were in the middle of a discussion. Because that's going to get me upset.
You're
right.
interrupted when Thanamus, having made his way through the crowd, which is not in itself something that sticks out until he stops at your table. On a tray, in a hand each, he has whatever drink you're having, whether it's 2 frothy ales or there's a glass of wine. But either way, he's got your order, and he puts it down on the table before you. From Mr. Leaf, and then he looks past your left shoulder to where you both know the curtained private alcoves are. There's only 4 of them, and they've never been used since you've been here. They're very rarely used. And he looks over your shoulder, and just you see him go from Mr. Leaf, and then just points. He asks if you would care to join him.
I look at Framling.
Arnung, do you know Mr. Leaf?
I've not heard the name.
All right,
Mr.
well,
Leaf.
keep yourself loose. This could be, given the knight's endeavours of what's going on, this may be a way of singling us out from the crowd and bringing us over somewhere easier. But let's maybe go and see who this Mr. Leaf is.
You look over your shoulder, obviously, before you stand up, and doing so, you're visual. Your eyes cast across the left side of the bar. You note that the man that struck the child is missing. The table is empty, as if he wasn't there. His cup is no longer there. Your eyes continue on, having acknowledged that, and you look towards the furthest alcove with its curtain drawn back, and you see that same man sitting at one of the comfy leather-bound benches with his drink on the table before him.
I'll gesture to Thanamus to let Renyir know we're here when he returns.
Yes, Mr. Arnung. And he then moves back through the crowd. The
Right,
crowd
Arnung, this is-
itself, you're very much switched on. The crowd itself is all just absolutely normal. Save people drinking a little bit drunker than they were. Voices are loud, jokes, and a sense of well-being is upon the pub as it normally is.
Arnung, I'll let you take the lead. This is your world. Let's see what this guy, this Mr. Leaf, wants. After you.
Thank you, Framling. I take it we've approached the table anyway. Yeah, we've approached. We've
Yep.
sat.
Well,
Yeah.
so you get up. He says,
Yeah.
obviously, Framling says that. You then go fine,
Yeah.
and then you pick up your drinks. You've got one on each hand because you hadn't finished the one that you had bought, and the one that's been given to you. And you approach. The obvious courtesy side of thing. The way that this man is sitting is giving absolutely zero indication that he wants anyone sitting on his side. To do so would be weird because you'd be perched on the edge a bit and embarrassing. But it is a bench seat, solid table, solid wall between that and the next cubicle, and obviously the curtain is on the rail, and it has that sort of look of a curtain that hasn't been pulled in a while, bit of dust on the top, and you can both slide in to the bench seat directly opposite him. But the approach to the alcove does allow you to see him sitting. You know, you're all approaching from an edge. There is nothing. He isn't sitting there with a dagger in his hand, ready to stab somebody on the table. You know, you can clearly see under the bench in the well-lit chamber. You slide in.
Yeah.
Are you pulling the curtain?
Is the
Yeah.
so is it blocked at one side and we're sliding into a bench like that? So one person would be
Yes.
blocked in.
Yes. One person will be against the wall.
Right. That'll be Arnhem because he's leading this.
So I'll lead. Pull the curtain aside.
No, the curtain was always open. So
The curtain's always open.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
okay.
you
Alright.
slide in. Framling
Okay.
slides in beside you. Framling, are you pulling the curtain across, or are you just leaving it open?
Yeah.
Okay, so
No.
you think about it.
No, I'd leave it open and see what
Yeah.
this guy's. See, I want to know what his reaction is, whether he thinks this is going to be private or whether it's just a common room chat and he just wants to, I'll let him take that lead. I'll leave it open.
So from my point of view, is basically just slide in and sort of look at him and wait for him to give the opening. Or are you going to go? Thanks for the
No.
drink.
It just. I'll just say, thank you for the drink, Mr. Leaf.
Very welcome.
Likewise.
Yeah. Would you like to draw the curtains? I have a delicate matter to discuss.
I'll pull the curtain across.
It's a heavy curtain. It drags all the way to the floor. It does have an effect of minimising the quite loud tavern.
What's the light like? Has it gone dark?
No, it's you are in a little bit more shadow, but it's not by any means pitch black.
Right.
So
Okay.
you can clearly see each other.
Right. Okay. I'll if I have to stand up, I'll pull it across.
Yeah. I'll stand up and I'll look at Framling and say, Beresad, it's an honour. Brother Arnung,
Say.
take care of at the moment. Obviously, your situation over the last hour has been noticed. It's being taken care of, so you can relax a bit for now. My name is Leaf, and I'm of your brotherhood.
Oh, of which temple do you hail from? Are you from the one that's associated here, or
No,
from
I
somewhere
am
else?
2 days south in Grimmenhagen.
Grimmenhagen.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I'm at disposal. If there's any information you need, I'll help what I can. Your boy Renyir, very sloppy. You might need to kind of have a word with him. I would like to remove him from the area he's in.
What area is he in?
Well, I'm getting word across the room here that he's actually kind of he's returning to the scene of the crime.
Arnhem, have words with that boy. we specifically said don't go back there.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm not across the room.
The curtain's closed at this point.
Cur-
You pull the curtain to one side.
Yeah.
You just see him basically just do that with the curtain, and yep. You can't see the person that approaches from the other side because the curtain's still in play, but you can hear whatever he says.
Right.
So yeah, the person that you've motioned for. Leaf.
Yeah.
Yep, he walks up. You're aware that unless you pull the curtain all the way back, they can't see this person. You're just sort of like that with the curtain. So go on, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just at home there. Go bring the boy back. Let him know that Arnung has sent for him.
He nods and walks back off through the crowd. You hear.
I'll pull out my extend my hand. Well met, brother.
You too. I'm not sure why you're in town. Obviously, I've been following you for a little while and getting an idea what's going on. What was the score with the orator?
Well, the situation with the orator is that we've got some Order of the Eye.
Mm-hmm. The Sigmarites.
The Sigmarites hunting witches.
Mm-hmm.
And stupidly, we kicked down the door perhaps too soon. But we got the information about this Blaine Burrows being this head of this order of whatever witch order that he is, and we're hearing names which we haven't heard in a long time.
Well, the Sigmarites have been here for 3 months, and every week, every 7 days, indeed, they managed to find 5 bodies to burn. For
every 7 days.
Every 7 days, they execute 5 witches. Now, I'm not seeing many witch colleges around here. I don't see kind of like huge gatherings of travelling witches around. So 5 a week.
Are these? I mean, that's the question I would ask: is there a witch problem in the city?
No.
Or
I've been here for many years, doing my duty. If there was a witch in this city, it would have been dealt with.
So these poor wretches are just randoms, or are they particular focused?
From my perspective, absolutely. It's either political or something more sinister.
If it's political, the people that are being taken,
are they be reasonable? It's not.
Are they of a lower class? Are they upper class? Are they middle class? Are they merchants? Are they movers and shakers? Is that?
Not really. I mean, obviously the guy they've had for a long time, who you keep on mentioning, I don't really know him, but I'm aware of him. He's been a part of the city for a long time. I do know he's a worshipper of Tala, and I do know he keeps his garden.
He's a Tala worshipper.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. The people that have been taking this order that's been in town for a few months, they're grabbing people. Obviously, they've grabbed a lot of people. If they're taking 5 people every 7 days, is that having an effect on the populace? Is it being used to cow the populace?
Or it's going to have that effect regardless, isn't it?
But they're not. It's not. I'm just trying to get an idea whether this is okay. If it's political and it's not for a particular political group, as in they're targeting enemies that they want to take out, and they're using this as an excuse. Are they using this to cow the people? Are the people talking about it? Are the people worried?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a definite cooling effect on the population, certainly on the criminal activities. Everything's been a little bit more low key around that area.
Who are they? Do you know if these guys, these Sigmarites, this nightly order, are they? Who are they talking to in government? Who are they talking to in the leadership?
I mean, I would suppose it would be Gurin. He's in charge around here. You know, I mean, obviously you've got the kind of like the royalty and the nobility, but this guy calls the shots.
Goebbels. Sorry.
Gobble,
Gotthard.
Gobble, Gotthard Goebbels.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Have you seen them talking to him, or is this just an assumption?
I don't. I give them a fairly wide berth.
Right.
Under orders and like boss, but I mean, I could ask around.
Well, I would like to know whether this is Goebbels using them as a means to effectively bring control, another string to his bow of power.
Well, I mean, you're doing. I need to bring a point across to you. You're sitting in a kind of like a fairly well-to-do pub, and this is actually Goebbels' drinking pub. So you've been a little bit lax with your security, can I say? Your conversations have been noted. Words have been said. Things have been forgotten. Obviously to protect your identity, but if we can keep that down to a minimum and just move forward kind of like with a bit more of an air of secrecy, I am very concerned that you will attract some attention in here.
Well, I do stand out, and unfortunately, because of the recent with the recent events of the night, we may have just shone a big beacon in the sky to say, "Come and have a chat with us."
Well, I mean, I've redirected the story. Essentially, kind of like I've had my boys following you, and so they saw what Arnung did. I've redirected one of those to be an eyewitness to the boy from earlier. I'm sure you saw. Essentially, he witnessed everything. He told us what happened. However, I've spun it a little bit so that it goes up top with a bit more justification. So the official story now will be Arnung and the boy went to the house looking for a kind of like a follower of Tala, because they are followers of Tala. Found an intruder, questioned the intruder. The intruder lunged at Arnung. Arnung instinctively responded and in the kind of like the melee broke the guy's neck.
So Arnhem's has been identified. He was already been identified, was he?
Well, the situation is that he's already been seen in the area. You have made a hell of a racket coming into town. You've stepped on a few toes, so lots of people are looking at you. The Order of the Eye aren't, but it's a big city with lots of people, and you have been noticed.
Arnhem, do we need to move? Are we safe here?
No, you don't need to move. As I've said, people have heard things at tables, and in the background I've dealt with that situation. So they are quite happy to keep their mouths shut. And the later situation with the orator, kind of his fault. He shouldn't have attacked a veteran.
Do you think that'll stand?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, we need to be aware that if the knights get a whiff of the story, if it gets spoken back to them with your name, we may be getting a visit. If that visit occurs, I need to make myself scarce. Maybe the cover story for us being here, of which I don't think we ever established, is it worthwhile us looking at buying some pelts or something, or is it we've gone too far too quickly and everyone knows that we're not here to buy pelts?
I think I agree we need a cover story. Perhaps I could set up some trades while I'm here. I mean, I'm a tradesman after all.
A tradesman? More, I would have thought you were more of a merchant than a tradesman.
Merchant, tradesman, other things.
let's think about that. Let's get some deals going. Let's look at some pelts. I mean, I look like I could be a fur dealer of some sort. So let's play with that, just to give us some veneer of respectability, or at least a reason for being here. What do you know about this?
Sorry, are you selling pelts or buying pelts?
Selling.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll some inventory for you.
And Mr. Leaf, the Blaine Burrows, you don't know much about him other than he's a Tal worshipper.
But I can probably find some information out. I mean, I do know a lot of people.
At least what he looks like.
And by the way, my name's not Leaf. The nose is Leaf, but my name is actually Duncan.
Oh, well,
now,
well met, Duncan.
I prefer Renyir not to be kind of like too cognizant of who I am and what I do. So that's why I used that opportunity while he wasn't here. He's not a member of the Brotherhood. I don't even know if he's a credential. I don't know what his situation is, but obviously kind of like he's from here. I recognise him from years ago.
Arnum, he's your man. Is he?
So if you use the name Leaf for now, I'd be more comfortable with that. But I'm just disclosing everything to you.
Yeah. Right.
As a kind of a matter of courtesy, really.
No, we'll honour that. We respect that, brother. Thank you for your assistance.
Can I just hold you there? Sorry, just to hold you there, because I'm conscious that Renyir's been sitting quietly.
Patiently.
So, reversing back 20-30 minutes of in-game time, you approach the main western road, and it is as it was half an hour, 40 minutes ago. It is just as crowded. Hawkers are selling their wares, entertainers are riding on single-wheel bicycles, fire eaters, people with parrots. The place is a festival-like atmosphere, which you know this particular street is known for. The clerics, the scribes that ply their work during the day here and live here, relax more. And there's a lot of students here from the various different sciences and things well above your head. But people that are easy marks, you also know that it is frowned upon. You were never associated with any of the lieutenants in the area. Very quickly, as you're well aware, that you were picked up by Oberlander. And as such, you did have a lot more freedom than the vast majority of people who answer to a particular command.
Yeah.
And therefore, you did ply the odd bit of cutting of purses here when you know that it wasn't necessarily the done thing. Looking upon the house, you could see, having remembered that you did turn the lights out. The door is closed, the curtains are still drawn heavily, no light comes from it as darkness is descending upon the city, with the lack of light. The sun's gone down, so the lights in the street have been lit. Obviously, that was done before, but nobody seems to be visible at the house itself. There is a closed up, somebody's gone to bed early sort of look about it, with the fact that at least the lounge curtains are drawn. Then of course you know that the upstairs curtains are wide open from the bedrooms, so it's only going to stand up to a cursory glance before somebody's going to think that looks weird.
Yeah. So there's nobody watching it that I can see as I'm blended in the crowd?
Absolutely not, no. Not that you can tell anyway.
Well, I'll go and purchase some food before I walk back.
Well, you're standing at one of the barrows, ordering some fried vegetables and chicken, or whatever your particular choice is of this stand. You all literally sit like this. You've got it in your hand, you're blowing on it, and as you're doing that, you look up, and for a moment, you see what you believe, and nothing doesn't happen again, as if somebody... Bye, Talbot. You see, and welcome back to 1969. Good morning, Vietnam. He's going to stay in Vietnam. All right, fair enough. Stay back in 69, mate. Let us know how it works out for you. No, that's not helping. You're on the wrong camera.
Shut up, you.
You yeah. So again, you pause for a moment. You stop. You take a bite. It doesn't happen again. But for a moment, it looked like somebody brushed up against the curtain. You saw it push up against the window and then relax again. You are in a part of your mind thinking, did I see that? And because it doesn't happen again, but the other part of your mind is, I don't doubt my senses normally. But of course, there's a lot of change in your life over the last couple of days that's put you on edge. So you're not 100%, but yeah, for a moment it looked like somebody touched the curtain on the inside. Full body, like a full impact, you know. It wasn't a full body frame, don't get me wrong. As if somebody was on the inside brushed against the curtain.
Yeah. I'll trust my instincts. I'll keep eating.
Yep.
Finish that one, buy another one, then leave the stall.
Right, move on to the next stall.
Ooh, hungry times.
I don't want to do any more of this. Right,
We have started off too quick.
You're on to your second course. Again, there was no further incidents. No recurrence.
Nobody acting different.
Nope.
In the crowd or not?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
You are aware of the backwards entrance, remember?
yeah. I'll head back to the goose.
What? Nah. Instinct. Right.
Instinct says, don't go against the demigod. The demigod has spoken.
Okay.
This is already crossing the line.
You look, you think, and then you turn around and stop as you go to fall over. A lad, probably a good sort of maybe 3-4 years younger than you. He makes a point of starting in your way, and as you go to step to one side, he literally very quickly, far more agile than you, seems to be just everywhere you want to put your feet until you have to stop and look.
Hands on him, turn around and walk away.
He's
That way.
as you put your hands on him, as you turn around, he looks at you with eyes far older than the the young lad that he should be in. This child has seen things, and he just very calmly mentions, you have been told to return by Arnung.
I'm saying, you're in my way. Move.
He
As I go
wiggles
past him.
down, lands, grabs the remainder of your food, and runs off into the crowd. You're sitting there with a bit of paper and a greasy bit of paper, like some sauce on your wrist.
Pick up a stone, start off his head.
Hits the side of a priest of Moor.
Like it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
cue Benny Hill moment.
You make your way back to the goose. When you get there, the table is empty, and you look around for a moment, and Fanimus gets your attention. Your Arnung and your tribal friend are in the private booth speaking with somebody. I recommend you wait outside until you're called.
Randy, please. I go and sit at the table. Course tab. Nope, sorry. Rambling's tab.
The guy that died 1,000 years ago's tab that nobody remembers. Who?
Buso's tab.
Yeah, Buso. Who?
Or a Buso.
Yeah.
The tab of Buso.
You sit down with your brandy and then realise that you're taking orders from a barman. Just saying. Meanwhile,
How low have you fallen?
I can't make a decision for myself.
Street urchins tell me what to do, and now barman, right?
And therefore, your conversation is he's now unaware of to yourselves, of course. He's now sitting at your table, but we are pretty much at the same time frame. So, I don't know if you remember what you were about to say there, Leaf. before I rudely interrupted you with moving the story on.
No.
No
So-
clue.
You So obviously you'd made plans for what would happen if people come knocking. You had Leaf had said I can ask around, get people to ask around. I can get some information, but ultimately you had discussed the sort of situation, which was you had become known, which you were aware of, but also that there were more than one interested party had been listening into your conversations, and that Leaf had been using a counter to that by spreading his own information. Remember, he referred to you as Berusad, which is a truly ancient old name, which is a dead language, effectively. And that's not going to get attention, so I don't want you to assume the way that, when, for example, Arnung's been shouting, "Hey, Framling, you're a demigod!" It's different when said in the native language to Berusad will not trigger anything. So you're in a place that can be used to your advantage. Your enemies don't know that you know, but you do. But obviously you've got a counter insurgent. You've got a counter information. This guy, this Leaf, he is countering a lot of the rumours and stories and making stuff up that'll stand. So the main story that he has relayed is that the death of the orator was a self-defense act, effectively, as the man attacked a veteran who was looking for his friend, and this guy, acted in such a way that it.
But I imagine, and Leaf, I imagine we're still going to get a visit from the City Watch. Someone's going to come and see us. You don't just get to kill someone and say it was self-defense without someone coming to have a chat with us.
Yeah, the City Watch aren't going to be a problem. The Order of the Eye may catch wind. I can't see how unless we inform them or give them a bit of a story. I mean, it depends on what you want to do with it, really. I mean,
but Arnum's name, it's gone to the City Watch. The authorities.
That's gone.
No. It's gone where? Sorry.
To the King.
Oh, it's gone to the. Oh, right. It's gone to the King.
Not the King. The King.
Right,
Goebbels.
So you've got the Emperor, and
Yeah.
the King is the King of Middenheim.
Right.
And the person that's running the city is either, depending on
Graf.
who you are, the Graf or the Duke.
The Duke.
And we've already established that the Duke is old and dying,
And not
so
doing
really
that.
it's the Graf.
Right.
With that,
He's speaking
in
of his
mind-
boss.
Yeah. So who are we referring to, Leaf? Are we talking about the King of Middenheim, the King?
No, we're talking about the Oberlander.
Yeah, the King. So
Yeah.
The reason that I say that is the King is not a title used in the Empire. Yeah, that's not a recognisable title. So it is only in one place that you're aware of, and that's the King of Middenheim, because there's no official political title of that ilk. It's Baron, Graf, Emperor, Elector, Count, Dukes, that sort of thing. There's nobody like, I'm the, when it says I'm the.
Yeah, there's no king. Yeah.
There's no actual
So is
king
it-
of the land. So the King of
So
Middenheim
who's-
is always Oberlander.
Yes, your boss did pay us a visit, Mr. Leaf.
Yeah, I was there.
So you were.
So wait a minute. The king of the underworld, the shady side of the city, is aware of Arnhem and what transpired. The city authorities, they're not aware of it. They just know
The
they've got to.
authorities won't know.
They won't know. Right. Okay. Fair enough. And so we're still,
Unless there's an investigation.
which there's
If
likely to
if
be.
there's an investigation, Oberlander will be asked to provide information. The information he provides will be it was a justifiable homicide because the man was attacking another man.
Right.
The other man happened to be a war veteran who can kill people easily.
And that information is obviously going to be passed to Gotthard.
And that will
Got
spread around, and suddenly you've got an interesting situation where the orator attacked somebody. Why? They might want to ask around. They might
Yeah, why-
into the situation, and it might put you face to face or some of us face to face with the Sigmarites themselves.
Okay, so what we're hoping for is that if if this goes anywhere, it's going to go to Gotthard because that's the only person who's going to be interacting with Overlander, and then Gotthard's going to come and have a chat with us without necessarily informing the Sigmarites.
Indeed.
And the Sigmarites might just blow off steam and do what they do. Right. Okay.
What
It's
do you know
interesting.
about...
I mean, it's one of these situations where it was unexpected, so I had act quickly, and try and turn it to an advantage rather than dead bodies dropping up the street. You know.
I am, however, interested in this. These two little snippets of information that you've provided me and previously been heard of, which is a follower of Tal with a garden that's fallen to rot. A garden that falls to being overgrown, but to rot.
It doesn't necessarily mean that the person sitting in the garden is the cause of the rot. It could be adjacent. It could be targeted. I mean, as far as I know, this guy's on the level. He's not a bad man. I mean, he's.
No. That's not what my thoughts turned to. My thoughts were turned to the fact that he's been moved out of there, and there's some sort of blighted conditions turned up in his house. And that combined with the idea that there is a frequency to the burnings. It's almost, you're telling me
fish.
Yeah, it's starting to the idea that it's turning up on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
like a week every week they've managed to find them. Like they're on a timetable.
It's almost as if they're offering something up.
Does that not sound very familiar?
Very much so. It's I've been on this for a while now. Unfortunately, my situation is that I'm supposed to give them all a wide berth. However, me true duty instructs me not to, so I have been kind of like watching it. I mean, as far as I can see, the shit helmets are fine. That they're just being Sigmarite knights, But there may be something a little bit better in it up top,
They might be being pure and just to their vows.
Indeed, I mean that's exactly what I'm supposed to do, but I do smell a rat.
Brother Leaf, what can you tell us about this Lucas Wins? I know he's the commander. Do you have any information on this individual?
Lucas Rains. No, as I say, I can possibly inquire, and get some information for you. But I mean, I'd have to set something up first.
Okay.
And Leaf, do you know if the stronghold, the barracks for these Sigmarites, are they easily connected to the sewers? Is it somewhere that we could get in that way if we needed to?
At the barracks, I mean, I'm sure that they'll be great. And are you talking about entering the barracks and going through the grate? Or are you talking about entering?
I'm talking about entering the sewer and coming up. Yeah. Is that somewhere if we need to go?
I mean, if needs must, but I'd rather not trudge through shit.
Me and you both of the same mind.
So,
However,
if we can finesse our way in there, great. If we can't, we'll trudge, I suppose.
I need to stay out of the. Visual range of those Sigmarites. There's something about them that they recognize me somehow. I don't know, but I don't necessarily want to have a close chat with them if they think I'm something other than a trapper, a hide salesman.
You attract them?
Nah, they seem to see me in a crowd. They seem to notice me. I don't know what they notice, but they honed in on me when they saw me. So I need to keep myself away from them.
Guys, aren't they? So I mean, they're probably got some sort of hard on for magical energy or something.
Possibly, I don't know. However,
it means you radiate something. I mean,
yeah, well, I have my thoughts. However, what that means is I can't be going there
Yeah.
and speaking directly to them, which means Arnon,
Well, I mean,
you, and Mr. Leaf could be the ones who need to go in terms of if we're going to finesse a way into that barracks. It can't be me. That'd be too much of a hard sell to then try to persuade them I'm not a witch,
okay.
which I'm not.
Well, I know you're not.
But that's what they all say.
Yes, up until the point that they say we
To
all
catch
we
fire.
get burned.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I mean, there was a recent incident where the 5 of them went there and confessed to being witches and gave themselves up. So
Yeah, that's not my experience of what witches tend to do.
yeah, it's odd, isn't it?
They're not normally that forthcoming. Ordinarily, they don't say that. However, people under extreme duress will say anything, and I suspect that's what's going on. Is there a way of getting sight of what's inside that compound, that barracks, or how many days have we been since the last sacrifice? That was yesterday, wasn't it?
Today, this morning.
Oh, it's this morning. So we've got a week before the next gathering, if the schedule is being kept. Where do the Mr. Leaf? Where do they source their victims from? Is there any pattern?
To be honest, it's as I've said, I tend to have to keep me distance from them. As from the king, so I'm not looking too hard at them. I'm not looking too hard at the victims, to be honest. I mean, normally, if it was under my purview, I would. But I'm having to be fairly low key around them. Simply,
I'm just wondering whether
bring anything on the overland, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering whether they dive into the, into the lower parts of town to source their next crop of kindling, or whether they are more, they move more around the city. I'm wondering who the victims are, whether they're just poor unfortunates or whether they're targeted.
Again, I mean, kind of like something. And
something that's just occurred to me as well. Did you say this was Goddard's drinking den? That he comes here? This is his regular haunt. When was the last time we saw him? It's been a couple of days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that normal? Does he not normally come in for a drink regularly, or is that? Or is he out in a...
No, not as connect. He's not an every night guy. I mean, he comes in with a guy with his men and kind of like has a drink and entertains, but it's not every night.
Right, so it's not unusual. We haven't seen him for a few days.
If he is, then he generally will end up here, because this is obviously one of the nicer places in town, and it's very convenient to the barracks.
Right.
Brother Leaf, is he aware of who you were?
No.
Or?
No.
So you're here representing the Brotherhood and not the king?
I will always represent the Brotherhood first. This is why this conversation is between us three. For all intents and purposes around town, I am nothing to do with the Brotherhood. Nothing to do with the Brotherhood.
Then it's imperative that you keep your distance from us.
No, not at all.
No?
No.
You're not going to risk your cover?
I'll take my chances. I'd rather not cast you adrift when my kind of purpose for being here is standing in front of us.
I got a sign like that too. After 30 years. I lost my purpose and I found it again. Isn't that right, Framling?
Let's hope so. The man I remember was a good man. Let's hope that man's still in there. So, This has been very useful, Leaf. Very useful. What we need to know, if you can, is let's find out a bit more about this. What this Burrows sky looks like.
Okay.
If we've been told, if you've been warned away from the Sigmarites, then it seems silly to go against people and deliberately be targeting them. But we'll see if we can just on the periphery be aware where they might be. Let's get a cover story going about some pelts, some furs, some trading, and let's. We need to find a way, and by we I mean not me. We need to find a way of getting into that compound, into that barracks, and seeing what's going on. We also have to be aware that there might be a timeline going on here. We may only have 7 days before the next crop of kindling turns up in that square again.
Well,
and
I mean,
yep.
it's fairly commonplace that. I mean, you're not gonna save them from burning witches. It's that point of their existence, isn't it? If you try to upset them on that one, that would be bad.
It's not so much that they burn witches; they're witch hunters. That's, as you say, that's what they do. It's more the frequency, the timing of it.
Oh yeah,
that's something that both you and I have thought that. Well, that's a bit odd.
You surely have to have a fairly major infestation and lots of bad things going on in the town to be able to burn 5 witches a week.
A week, but just on the 5 days as well. So why wouldn't you just burn them as you find them, as opposed to
exactly? It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. Something much more sinister is going on. Whether, as I say, it's some sort of political play, or there's some form of kind of like, someone needs a lot of bodies.
Yeah.
So it's set my alarm bells ringing, I suppose, and
these are rituals.
And looking at this myself.
Right.
I mean, I was going to take a look at myself. I mean, it's 3 months they haven't left, So I was going to try and obviously then you turned up, and it was like first thing I could hear you talking about is kind of like everything about this barracks, and Sigmarites. So I think our goals are aligned. From my perspective as a kind of like a kind of like an operative in the town, as well as my official position in town too.
Adam, thoughts?
Burrows. Are we going in there for Burrows or not? It's as simple as that. For now.
What, like rescue them?
I don't think the man needs rescuing. I think we just need to know. But if these are just random acts, burning random people, then a part of me thinks, why are we going for Burrows? The only thing that strikes me is that they've burned everybody else, but why not him?
Because they haven't broke him.
Which in itself is a bit weird.
Mm.
I think I'm more interested in the frequency and the timing of these burnings. That strikes as something that's peculiar. But we've got some deals we need to do. We've got some cover stories we need to work on. Leaf, you've got some information that we need to find out of. I mean, I'm not going to suggest we go. There's just been a murder. It's going to get back. It's going to get back to the Sigmarites today, tonight, tomorrow.
Well,
I don't necessarily want to go steaming into there, or have you necessarily turn up.
It depends, really. I mean, kind of like the Omen is not going to kind of like run off to the Sigmarites. There's no love lost there. But if they come to him, the cover story's in place. Do you want the body to disappear, or do you just want to leave it, or do you want to report it and be above board? There's options.
It's unfortunate that the king knows that it was Arnung, although he might not.
It's very, very fortunate that the king knows it's Arnung.
Okay, because I'm thinking maybe Arnung could be playing the very keen, I'd like to burn witches person who went to talk to the orator because he was that impressed by the impassioned speech he gave this morning and discovered him dead
Or he could be a fellow worshipper of Tala coming to visit a fellow worshipper of Tala in town, knocks on the door opens. Intruder, who are you? Poor excuse, poor story, fracas, death, misunderstanding.
I'm thinking, whilst that could play true in terms of an excuse, I was thinking more of a way of getting Arnhem into that compound to report the death.
Well, he could have kind of be, well, you know, he comes back, he's talking to kind of like, he happens to be talking to me on an adjacent table. He has this discussion. You know, I recommend that he approaches them and tells them what happened as an honest man would.
Yeah, no, an honest man wouldn't
It's
go
risky.
necessarily anywhere near a witch hunter if they know it was him who did it. I'm thinking the story could just be. Arnhem, what do you think of this? You're a keen. You were inflamed by the orator's passionate speech this morning and seeing these despicable witches burnt, and you want to know more. And you've gone to see the orator, and you've discovered he's dead, and that's why you go to see and knock on the door and say, "Did you know he's dead?" And that gets you in. What say you to that? Is that an idea?
You want me to report it?
What do you think of the premise of getting you inside that way?
You want me to go inside there on my own?
Well,
I feel rather uncomfortable, if I'm honest.
well, I can't go there, can I? Leaf, you can't be seen together. We don't want to associate us this way.
I'm not worried about that at all. I mean, the thing is, I mean, it depends. If you just need inside the compound, I can get you inside the compound. Nighttime, easy peasy. It's
Okay.
I mean, we can do that. Obviously, kind of like if we're discovered inside the compound, then there's going to be it's
Less
gonna get
easy peasy.
rough. These guys are pretty tough. I mean, they're absolute freaking shit helmets, but they can fight and they're well armored. So I wouldn't want to get into a situation where I've got these Sigma Right Knights coming after us in any kind of that capacity like that. However, if we're sneaky enough, yeah, we could do it.
Well, that's the goal. Get inside that compound, get sight of this burrows,
Bear in
get a
mind,
sense of
spend
what's
most
going on in
time
there.
as well. Yeah, they only
do.
are about on burning days.
Oh, so who goes and collects the victims?
I think they're
Unknown.
just carted in, aren't they? I mean, I think you probably got kind of like the knights who stay inside and probably kind of like, you know, lesser kind of status kind of members doing the dirty work and bringing people in.
The squires, perhaps.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, so the compound's never going to be other than manned.
Yeah, but the sewers will come out of the basement anyway, so kind of like lower level, isn't it? The lowest point will be the sewer grating. So I'm guessing that they're not going to be hanging around in the shittiest part of the building.
No, true. I think that's an idea. Arnhem, I know you were not keen for the sewers. No one wants to muck around the sewers, but this is dirty work. Dirty work sometimes means getting covered in shit, sometimes literally. What's your thoughts? Well, I'm thinking get under there and get a sense of what's going on and sneak around. What's your thoughts?
I'd rather go into the shit than through the
Alright.
front door.
I'll make the necessary arrangements and we'll go tonight then.
You good with that on? You in a good headspace for this?
I'm ready.
Arnung,
Okay.
when we're down in the sewers and we are inevitably discovered by the Night Watch or the militia down there, the rats, like, let me do the talking, yeah?
Understood.
There shouldn't be any problems at all.
So we have a plan.
Looks like a plan.
So at this point in time, as you open the curtain, you can see Renyir is sitting with a half glass of brandy at your table. A mixture of relief, anger, frustration, boredom. It's just a bad night all round. The bar is still
purses.
a horseshoe and a traffic cone. So my understanding is that we will see arrangements being made by Leaf to get access to the sewers. Tonight is will be the following day before Arnung will start discussing the trade, because the shop's shut. It would be very faux pas to do it now. Framling, you're not going into the sewers, or you're going to join them? Remember,
No,
their skill set that you're worried about is very
it's visual.
specific.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to go in the sewers. I just may not go into the compound.
Yeah, okay. And obviously Renyir has no idea what the hell's going on at all, because he was out about doing something and he's now returned and he's back. Have I missed anything?
No, that's about it. Yeah. Oh, barring has Renyir reported as to where he's been?
Well, you've literally just pulled the curtain back as the conversation is effectively, I'm assuming, done, and you can see him sitting there. The curtain pulls back. You see, obviously, Framling Arnung sitting with somebody you've never seen before.
I'll wait for them.
So the band, the minstrels, are playing loudly. Your conversation to the Joe average is obviously covered by said noise, but as Leaf has pointed out, there some professional ears have been listening in, so you'd have to bear that in mind going forward. That would be definitely a warning shot across that you would not ignore going there at that point. Renyir, I mean, I'm assuming that you guys are now going to step out. You set the table, introduce Renyir. This is Leaf Renyir. I'll leave that to you. We've still got a little bit of time here. I want to see how far we can move forward with this. So, curtain back. There's Renyir.
Oh boy.
Get up. Walk over.
I'll lean into Arnhem. He was told specifically not to go where he's gone. Make sure he understands that.
Understood. Where did you go, boy?
Look at the house.
You were looking at the house.
Yeah.
You do recall your orders?
Not to go near the body. I went near the house instead. Slight twist on the orders.
Okay, let's not presume, let's not assume, let's follow orders.
Oh, there was somebody in the house, though.
Letter. There was what?
There was somebody in the house.
Describe him. The person.
Curtains were closed.
Okay. Was that one of your guys, Leaf?
Yeah.
Okay. That's taken care of. But from now on, you need to follow orders. Or you're done.
Fair enough.
Good lad. Framling?
Right. So I witnessed that exchange.
Yep.
Right.
It was done past you, in fact. You have to sit with that as he's like, rah, 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 and he's sitting there. So you've had to sort of lean back as he, as he talks. He tells him off, admonishes him.
Right. Okay. Are we still in the booth, or
you are? Yeah.
The booth? It's just been opened up.
Yeah.
Come here, Renyir. Just come, and I'll put my hand on. Close this curtain.
Okay.
I've got my hand on his shoulder. Like I don't know height wise whether he's
a short 15-year-old, so he's about.
Yeah.
You are literally just your arm is level. You're sitting. His shoulders level with you.
Right. Okay. When I tell you to do something, you do it. I don't want to hear any about second guessing or thinking you know better. You understand? Because if you don't understand, then you probably won't even see the day out.
Clear as water.
Right. I think you're getting soft in your old age.
Well, do you feel better?
We've got things to do.
We've all got things to do.
Let's get on with it.
can I suggest and a wardrobe update as well? You are sticking out a bit.
Which
I can
one?
sort that out. Oh,
Is this not the current style?
no. No, you're very out of place.
Yeah. We did warn him that he does look like a witch.
Well, we can actually kind of like I do know people around. I mean, there's
Is this not the look of a trapper or a person who maybe works in?
maybe it's a while back. Yeah, I mean, but it's
These
it's a little bit
these
wild
were
for the.
these were pretty good when I seem to remember back in the day.
Nah, I think if we can like improve your wardrobe, it'll improve your stature, and you know, nice things happen to rich people.
Right. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go and get me some new clothes, I guess. In that case.
Well, I'll yeah, we'll nip over to the markets and down to the artisans, and I'll sort out the trading goods for you as well at the same time. Yeah.
Yep. That sounds like a plan.
Right. Well, I'm going to call it there as far as in-game characters, because that stuff can all be done out of game. All right. And that's where we'll pick up next Friday with, no doubt you are wanting this very night. So a lot of the stuff you're going to do, you can get start the action rolling for the following day. But next week will be the night time of day 4. So you, so Leaf has to make a decision on who is going to grease palms and that sort of thing. Yeah. So you can sort that out the game. Well, actually, we'd normally do that anyway. So, but as far as characterizations, everyone's got their own little story and secrets. So have a think about which. You know how to get in and out the sewers. You know how to do that. You know enough about Renyir to know his skill set. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Arnung definitely knows his skill set, so he's a key member. But remember that he doesn't know that what your plan is. So technically, I have shut this down early when you could have actually been briefing Renyir and getting him up to speed. You've kind of dressed him down a bit. Now it's time to build him up. That needs to be done at the beginning of the next game, no doubt. But in the meantime, so the game will end with you guys separating effectively. Renyir, you're going to be staying with Arnung, no doubt?
Yeah.
Yeah, unless told otherwise. We'll just assume that Arnung, you tell him what the plan is, yeah?
Yeah.
So Renyir's out, right? Okay.
Where are they staying, by the way? Are they staying in this inn?
Yes.
Right.
You know for a fact that there's a private room that you can take on if you wish to stay close, but they are staying here. They are the only guests staying here, as you know that it's not a hotel. It's a private only establishment, and Arnung's relationship has allowed him to get rooms here when he comes to visit. So ultimately, I know that some of this stuff is going to be for the following day, but next week is going to literally it's going to be the PM of day 4. That's going to be you guys heading down to the server. So before next week, we'll have in the downtime we'll have a discussion as far as email. Message me how you want to go down there if you need any information on what you need to do, so you can tell these guys what the plan is. And we're going to be heading into that way. The following day, after showering and putting on your fresh clothes and stitching your wounds, putting on...
Covering ourselves in unguents and perfumes because we smell like shit.
Yep. You're going to be heading to the alt-marked... not the alt-marked, you're going to be heading to the new marked to get Framling some new strides. And then basically, so the whole
Maybe
point
something 5th or 6th century,
5th or 6th century. That's far too modern for you. No, mate. You're going to get into the latest millennium.
Yeah.
5th or 6th century. What? Less hide, more ring.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I want to stick with the golden rough.
Maybe he's moved away from pig fat to goose fat.
What? No, one step at a time. So yes, I mean that's pretty much where we are. We've had a big story arc there for people that's going to be watching this on YouTube. Yes, I know very aware Renyir has been quiet in the background. These were conversations that needed to be happening. Unfortunately, Renyir, sorry, Holt, that you weren't as involved as you like to be on a game, but it was still needed.
And
What
you
did
were lucky because
wrong?
I was toying with the idea of just backhanding you without even talking to you. Just
Down, child. So
Leaf will
basically,
teach you.
you don't want teaching from Leaf. Leaf doesn't,
Yeah.
Leaf doesn't look like
Leaf
the guy
knows how
that
to teach the boys.
it doesn't so much teach as instruct.
Go see mother. So I'll be interested to see how this goes, because obviously all 4 of you are going to be deep in the episode next week, and that's going to happen. There's going to be episodes where individuals are not going to be too much of a part, like in any TV show, that sort of thing. From episode to episode, sometimes you think, hey, where the hell was that? We're not hopefully going to be at the same level of Game of Thrones, where you go, hey, where's Royce gone? The leader of the Knights of the Vale? Oh, there he is. Next episode, gone again. There he is. That fucker has some bad timing. I think he should be called Royce the Bastard Coward. But that makes no sense to those that haven't watched it. So it was one of those things, we go where the story takes us. This was literally a big story arc with these 3 guys having a chat. Obviously, Holt, you are aware of what was going on, whereas Renyir, you understand from a player's point of view that the reason why Renyir was specifically asked to be out of the way so that Duncan could speak, and that's player knowledge, that's meta knowledge. But from the viewers, they might be thinking, what the hell, Renyir just sat there doing nothing? It had to happen.
Oh,
there was no way
shitness.
I sat there doing nothing for the first part, though.
You did, mate. Me previously sending a message going, you might have to just step in at some point. I don't think, and then this happened. Well, we ignore that. Oh, right. This happens. Now we ignore it again. You're going to have to get involved, mate.
At least I got past the kind of like the first contact without getting stabbed up.
Which is a
I was a
rarity
bit
for this
worried.
group.
I was a bit worried with Arnung there. I thought, the next guy gets snapped as soon as I kind of like welcome them in,
Yeah, what do you think? I'm like,
Morning!
not the ever so.
Yeah, you were, and you always will be.
Yeah.
The guard went up as soon as the kind of like the description went out. Like,
I was decidedly giving a brutal big opening, a nondescript, by making a point of saying how nondescript it was. Just to really sort of push that whole thing to see if they're going to be like, oh, we need to leave. And just kind of rose to it. I'm like, I think we're being watched. Anyway, started talking, and I was like, we've just lost an opening. They're not going to act on it now.
yeah.
But of course, I can't help myself, with Renyir. I'm aware that obviously what's going on in the background. Usually are having talks. An hour goes by in the world, as an hour does in the pub. So things are happening.
Well, more than an hour goes by in the pub. You know how that works.
Eternity can go by in real life. It's only been an hour, 3 days.
Yeah. Oh God, it's midnight.
Yeah. Or for me, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
I thought it was Tuesday.
And it's June.
And what am I doing in Edinburgh?
Yeah, like, how did I get here? Well, why have I got handcuffs?
I'm not even in the same city. But I couldn't help but see, when obviously Renyir, I know what the Renyir, the guy's like. He's standing outside eating his chips. There's movement inside the one room with the curtain closed. And I was like, I'll just leave it. And then I could help me. So I went, there is a back door, of course.
I thought he was going for it.
I thought he was good. I would have put money on him going,
I was like, right. I was hoping kind of like a guy carrying a sack would walk into the pub, and kind of like drop under the table and he's crawling out. while the cleaners are in there sorting out the gaff, But
I liked how it was, something moves. You think of the back door and then think, nah, nah, sod that. But
No, thanks.
I had to put that in there because I was very much aware that at that point you really hadn't had input, and I wanted to allow you to sort of feel the, that you'd been part of something, but making that decision, mate. Honestly, I did not see that coming. I thought I couldn't have, there's you can get in through the back. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna go for it.
He's going for it.
Oh.
It's got to be frustrating playing a 15-year-old because you got to get absolutely no respect and get cuffed around the fucking ear, all sorts of stuff,
I get that every time anyway. So.
Both sound real life.
Knife.
I am Holt.
Holt's knife.
I am Holt, the most powerful sorcerer in the known universe. Ah, shut up.
But
Oh.
it's quite funny because like, when you're getting told off, you behave like a 15-year-old. You know, oh, fair enough. You know, it's like that was
Go to your room.
exactly. Very good.
Am I clear as water?
All right, it does
You're not
sound
the boss
like
of me.
one
He is.
of the boys, isn't it?
You don't know where your wallet is.
What you mean? Arnung was like, "Don't look at me." You get told off by Framling.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved with that shit.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved with that. I was just like, "Ooh, la la la."
This is not telling me off.
Yeah.
Which he had spent a good half an hour to an hour beforehand doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Internally, Leaf's trying to like looking at this kid and the disrespect, because obviously he's very disrespectful because he's being dragged up, you know, and coming from the kind of like the background that Leaf controls, he literally wants. I mean, in my head, I'm thinking kind of like this guy would grab this kid and re-educate. You know, and it's kind of like that's going to be kind of like the I think a kind of like a moving thing for Leaf and Renyir, because he's gonna get him like.
Well,
Leaf's probably thinking, Mother probably can't actually restitch this with the amount of tuition I'm going to give him.
Yeah.
Well, that's the strange thing is, from Arnung's point of view, and that just shows Arnung is coming from the head of an organisation, a vast organisation where there's a lot of people, and he has Renyir, which Renyir was somebody that he was well aware of in his raw capacity, and sees him as one of many. Now, from Leaf's point of view, he's seeing each person as having to be refined. That's how I'm getting it. You know, Arnung's like, do your job, you don't do your job, slap, do your job, doesn't do your job, slap, don't do your job, disappears. Right, fuck him, I've got plenty of other people. He doesn't spend the time. Everyone is individual, allowed to develop as they see fit, and some are going to be coarse, some aren't. And Renyir, of course, is this loose cannon. He's spent what we know so far as viewers. He's got a brutal upbringing himself, you know, but he's wild. That's the main thing. He is wild, but right now he's like, shit, the head of the family's turned up, and of course, a demigod. Why not? You know, fuck it. Yeah, I really don't feel too comfortable here. And then, of course, you then add this totalitarian, this authority figure who goes, no, everybody has potential, and I need to get the best out of them and make them work. You know, that's what I get. Leaf doesn't allow them just to form and grow as they see fit. He goes, I can't afford that. I need to make sure each resource is trained in a certain place. And that's the difference that you're seeing here. Framling from a last millennia is just, I just hit it with an axe. If it pisses me off enough, or make it explode on the spot. And he's trying to, but I've spent a while trying to become refined. But he is, I mean, let's be honest, mate, you're a step above the Neanderthal. That's your mindset.
Well, and also because he's working from his background is that because he's Semnathai, he's like, we'll just do what I say, or else I'll burn you. I don't understand. I'm getting. Why aren't you doing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn you inside out.
So,
all right. Now you won't do what I say because you're dead.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he has worked with more refined people over the years, clearly. But he's still at his core. It's like, well, you brought up how you brought up, and you still always come back to that. And the way he's brought up is, but I'm Semnathai.
Yeah, matter of factness definitely works for you.
It's just like.
Of course, the other thing is you've been in a place, and I think all of us can work with this, where you can be in a situation which is more refined, and you become more refined. But if you suddenly step back and get put in the training gym under the bridge, suddenly effing and blinding and biting off a face in a brawl.
Yeah.
And this is Framling's come from a refined place, and now he's back in the Empire, which is, let's be honest, the poor cousin to where he's been. And so he's like, right, that's it. This is how they deal with the animals around here, because they're barely above the animal kingdom. So I just like how I'm seeing the side of it, and I think, as it's pointed out, you've got your three guys in this who are specifically powerful characters, trying to come together with a clear leader, which nobody can fault, in the sense of he's a brutalitarian, but he's, by definition, well, we know who Framling is. He's the son of God. You can't really sort of go, I think I'm going to try and move above him. because you know the gods
No.
exist. Tal might not put up with that. Shit, Ulrich, his uncle, might get a bit offended, and who are you going to piss off? So all the gods might turn up. I don't think I'm getting away from this one. You don't know. And then you've got you two guys, which are very. Bye, Talbot.
I don't know.
Which are very,
I don't need to hear this.
these very important.
Oh, Anna's back again. Vietnam,
from
19.
brutal
No, 19. 19.
So I'm interested to see how Renyir grows up, if he's just going to be totally off his tits, insane with fear, with these three lunatics around him, giving it the big I am, and not being able to do shit about it.
I'm just wondering whether if he keeps on showing some willful independence, whether he actually gets to grow up, or whether it's just like, and he died. Hey, look at that! He's on the pyre.
So this story about
How'd
the
he get
unsung
there?
heroes, even amongst unsung heroes, Renyir wasn't discussed. Don't be like Renyir. Renyir's like that.
I'm reading the histories. Did they speak badly of me? You're not even in them. Oh.
Well, you're all gonna know the power of a Renyir by next week.
Right.
Is that right, Renyir?
Prepare you.
See, yes.
Is he going to come out of the shadows? I was going to say, is he going to come out of the shadows?
Right, so we're right down deep in
He's
the
in
literal
there.
shit. Where's Renyir? Closes door, locks it behind him. Fuck off! Toodaloo, motherfuckers! Try and demigod you out of that, bastard. Shit.
Oh, run!
I hear it's nice and null this time of year.
Templars, this way.
Which way is he going? Tom Cruising it. Where to?
You think of me, you know of me as Renyir, the thief, but I am actually Renyir, the squire!
Yeah.
Actually, they just call me by my other name, the Orator, Part 2. So yeah, right. Well, thanks very much. I know that Framling is keen to move off and manipulate the world from afar. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much for this, lads. It was real fun. You know that I'm going to press end, but we're going to stay on for a couple of more minutes. So welcome, Ivan. It was great having you here, mate, and look forward to seeing you develop throughout the following weeks. It was a great addition, and I think we've got some absolutely cracking roleplay there. If I do say so myself.
If you do perp.
Which direction is it, Arnung? I don't know. Showing off for the ladies. Oh, don't do that, mate. You got to back up again.
Oh, that's wrong.
Halt! Scratch
wrong.
your back. It looks like a fucking wing. Right, guys. Next week we'll see you all on here. Keep an eye on. Obviously, we're on Twitch. Keep an eye on our YouTube. Please get on there. Get your subscribes in there. Get your likes.
Spread the.
He went off again. Spread the what?
Spread the what? Spread the jam.
Spread the. And we'll see you all next week. So thank you very much. Good night from Kane.
Okay.
Good night from Talbot.
Good night from Nevin.
Good night from Hull.
Good night for Ivan.
Hey. Good night.
Good night.